Hey. So, wow.
Yeah, no shit. And maybe the closest actual thing to a midnight screening I've been to in a really
You've
long
been
time.
to in a while. Yeah, you hadn't been to one this late in a long time.
No, it's fucking 12:30 in the fucking morning.
Yeah, we caught a 10 p.m. Screening, which thank God we went to it when we did, because we saw this over at Parkway, and we were talking about this in, I think, the Trainspotting 2 review, how one of the screens in there really sucks, and it's Theater 4, and thank God we didn't see it on that fucking screen, but I think the girl in there said, like, oh yeah, I think we had it on the smaller screen earlier. Holy shit, that would have pissed me off seeing this movie on that, in that piece of shit auditorium.
No, but they moved it into 3, which is a better theater. Actually, probably the best theater in the place.
One of them,
Yeah, and we were the only people in there.
Yeah.
And fucking hell, that would just made it even better. Like,
Yes and no, because more people need to be at this movie.
Yeah, but it was kind of awesome seeing it in an empty theater.
It was. It was. I think it's so weird that this is the 7th movie I've seen in like 6 days, I think, or something like that. I've been at a movie every night since Monday, and the best and worst that I've seen are both Charlie Hunnam movies.
You know what? That fucking killed it in this, man.
Dude, oh, fuck it. Like, that really pisses me off that King Arthur was a packed house and we were the only ones at this, but I kind of King Arthur was a free screening, I get it, but like, I said, and another thing too, one of the things I brought up in the review for King Arthur was like, what the fuck happened to Epics? Well, I got my well, this movie's a fucking epic.
In a different kind of, it's not like the big Hollywood epic. It's just an epic movie.
No, this is an old school Hollywood epic.
Yeah.
This movie is like a lost, awesome new Hollywood movie of like the 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
It looks like it. It feels like it. This movie is fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, it is hands down 100% fucking awesome. Like, if this is the kind of movie that like Chimino would have made if like Heaven's Gate did really well.
Yeah. No, they don't make movies like this anymore.
I haven't seen a movie like this in like 20 years.
I haven't seen a movie like this
In a long time.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie like this in a theater.
Yeah, that too.
I think the closest thing, and it's not nearly as good as this, the closest thing in a theater that I could kind of relate the experience to was maybe Gettysburg.
I can see that.
Just the scale of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I can see that. This movie, you know, if this movie would have been made in the 70s or early 80s, it would have been starring Ryan O'Neal.
Fuck yeah, it would have.
And it would have been great. This movie, honestly, if we're talking like in terms of everything that goes into filmmaking, direction, dear God, cinematography,
Music.
characters, acting, music, mood, editing. This is maybe one of the 100 best movies I've ever seen in my life.
Honestly, I'm right there with you. Like, it's 12:30 in the morning, and part of my brain's just like, I gotta call Bradstreet right now.
Yeah, yeah, right?
Like, dude, just... It's like 10 o'clock in California. You can still catch a show. Go.
Yeah.
Because this is the type of movie my brother-in-law fucking lives for.
I mean, I'm glad we got a great movie too, seeing how like we're seeing it at like 10 o'clock at night, and it is a 2.5 hour movie. Like, you know, when you're in that position, it's like, yeah, you certainly want the movie to be good, but this fucking great? Holy shit.
Yeah.
That rarely happens.
Like, and it's every minute of 2.5 hours. Like, you feel it, but you feel it in a good way. Like, every second of screen time is fucking earned.
Yeah, that one of the things I loved about this movie is I was never bored in this movie. Not for a second was I bored in this thing. And it all goes into the acting for one, and also the editing, because there is not a sequence that is too long or too short.
No, not a wasted second.
No.
And that's like, I'm gonna go out and say this right now before we continue, is Brad and I obviously
Yeah.
loved this movie.
Uh-huh.
That being said, I can completely understand people not liking it.
Depends on what your taste is, I guess.
It depends
like,
on what your taste is, and also the other thing, and I hate to be that guy and say something like this, like, people younger than us, especially people significantly younger than us, unless they watch a lot of movies and really reach back and had people that, like, found them things and gave them things to watch, they've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, that's on them.
No,
Like,
it is. It fucking is.
Yeah, yeah, this movie's not made for the kind of person who's gonna leave King Arthur and use a word like totes to describe how great they thought it was.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's...
But this movie is getting a lot of love. Like, I had a lot of people asking me if we were gonna see this weekend.
I am so fucking glad we came and saw this.
I'm so glad this came to Springfield.
Like, honestly, watching this movie, and it was different, also very different in presence, or not even type of movie, but the way the movie feels. But, like, watching this movie was honestly, like, the first time I watched The Mission.
Yeah!
Which, South America, and that's the only fucking similarity, really. South America, but, like... before I saw The Mission, I'd seen a lot of fucking movies. The first time, I think Bradstreet, I was probably staying with my sister and Tim, and he's like, okay, I'm going to bed here, watch this, and he put on The Mission, and I just remember sitting there the whole time being like,
yeah.
Oh.
It's a great fucking movie.
Well, beyond that, and this, and there are other movies, there's lots of other movies too, but that and this, it's one of those things that, like, some things fucking transcend a movie. Some things transcend a film. Some things are just fucking art.
Yeah.
And this is fucking art.
I felt that way while watching this movie.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about The Mission. When I was sitting there watching this movie, I was having the same thought you were. Not necessarily about The Mission, necessarily, which is a great fucking movie, don't get me wrong. I was thinking, like, this reminds me of, like, when I saw The Godfather for the first time.
No,
or,
just like
Papillon, or something
I
like
always
that.
forget about Papillon, and my God, that movie is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, okay, just... offshoot. If you've never seen Papillon,
Yeah, fucking watch that shit.
Just drop what you're doing. Find yourself a copy of Papillon. Like, the best version of Papillon you can find. And don't download it. Don't rent it. Just fucking buy it. Because not only is that movie amazing, it is the best performances of, I think, two of the greatest American actors.
Yeah.
And they don't get enough credit for that movie.
No,
fucking
not at all.
Steve McQueen and Dustin Hoffman are amazing in that movie.
Yeah. And that's a movie, too, that, like this one, earns every second of its running time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this movie, and Papillon as well, like, cover a lot of time. And this one...
This movie covers about 20 plus years.
Yeah, it's about an explorer who's obsessed with finding a lost city in the Amazon. And Charlie Hunnam is so great in this movie that you feel why he wants this. You feel his ambition, his earnestness. And he plays it so perfectly that he never seems crazy or anything like that.
No, because you know what he's doing? He's playing a British man of that era.
Yeah,
To a T.
Yeah, he is so good in this movie. So fucking good. Him and Pattinson are
Robert
fucking
Pattinson,
great in this movie.
Like, he's one of those dudes that I've seen that guy in enough movies that I like, you can tell when he's fucking phoning it in and when he cares.
Yeah.
Like, that dude is so amazingly, brilliantly understated in this movie. Like, he knows his role.
Yeah.
He knows the character.
He gets some laughs, too, in this movie.
He gets some
too.
laughs, but they're so perfect. Like,
Yeah.
like they're also perfectly British laughs.
Yeah. What does he say when Hunnam is, like, addressing that crowd, basically saying what he wants to do? And it's this fucking awesome speech in this movie. And he asks Pattinson if he wants to go with him. And he has this perfect fucking line, like, well, I almost killed myself doing it last time, but I got nothing else to do. Like, it was something like that.
Like, that jungle is hell, but one grows to like it.
Yeah, but, one grows to like it, so sure. And it covers, like, events in the Amazon and back home with his family and World War I. And it is so perfectly edited that for each of these sequences, whether it's in the Amazon, whether it's at home, or whether it's at war, or even in the sequences later where the characters are much older, like, they're so perfectly paced. It's never too short to where it feels like there's stuff missing.
No.
Like, that never happens. And it's never too long to get bored, kind of what you're seeing.
There's things in the movie that I think a lot of filmmakers would cut out and could easily be cut out and it'd still be a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
But leaving those things in and letting them build makes it more.
That's why this feels like a new Hollywood
Yeah.
movie. Like, it does. It feels like it's this director going, no, fuck you, I'm keeping everything in this movie.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. But everything was also so meticulously, you could tell the amount of work and design
Holy
and
shit.
effort that went into every fucking
Uh-huh.
shot. Just because at parts in the movie, there's parts that, they get a little arty with camera movement and fade and transition, that in a lot of movies you'd look at it and go, oh, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like if Terrence Malick did it or something.
Yeah, no. Like, there's this transition in this movie that was, honestly, in every movie I've ever seen in my life, it was the most beautiful and perfect transition I've ever seen in a movie where he's, like in a foxhole, and it's doing this pan, and it's, his imagination entwining a little bit with World War I, and there's these vines from the Amazon, and the vines turn into barbed wire, and that sounds cliched and stupid as fuck.
Oh, it works.
But it worked so beautifully, and it was so fucking seamless that after it happened, I literally had to stop and go, what did I just fucking see? Did that actually just happen? Because it was so fucking perfect.
Oh, that shit works in this movie. Like when an explosion happens to him on the battlefield and he looks up and he sees the trees in the Amazon and things like that. Even towards the end when he goes on his final mission there to the Amazon, and what I really like about this movie is that if you know anything about the story going in or what they've showed you in the trailers or even what the plot synopsis is you know how it's you know what's going to happen. Well, it's not necessarily that you know what's going to happen at the end. It's just that you know that this is, spoiler, this is a character who ends up going missing. Like, he's never found again. And so if you've seen the trailers, if you've seen the plot synopsis, or even the poster, you know that that's what this movie's about, or that it's going to eventually get there. But you don't know how it's going to get there. You don't know what this movie is going to show you in terms of what that finale is going to be.
No, and speaking of that finale, it's obviously this character's never seen again, so this finale that they do in this movie is pure speculation.
Yeah, it is.
But they kind of fucking embraced that.
Yeah.
In this really, like, beautiful, glorious, like, let's take it over the top way. But taking it over the top in such a way that it's like, oh, they're turning this into a moment.
It's gorgeous, man.
Yeah.
It's so gorgeous, and it's edited in there with a couple of things, flashing back to him as an older man again, and also him younger, and his wife reading a letter and things like that, and it's just perfect. It's like an odd way that that it's kind of showing key moments in this guy's life kind of flash into just him and the audience as this is happening. And this final moment that he says to his son before this happens is just fucking gripping.
Yeah. No, and I'm gonna say this. Right before we walked into the theater, because I had gone pretty much blind. I think I had heard a little
saw a
snippet of
trailer.
a thing on NPR
Yeah.
a week ago where they were talking about this movie, and so I just hit the Rotten Tomatoes page on the app and fucking cruised down and read some highlights real quick, and like all the critic reviews for the most part are outstanding, and then it gets the user reviews, and it's like, listen, motherfucker, if you don't know shit about movies, don't write fucking reviews. Because these people are like, oh, the lines are hackneyed, and it's like, no, this is a like, you don't know the kind of movie they're making is the problem. You've never seen this kind of movie before. Or Charlie Hunnam's British accent is terrible. Motherfucker, he's British. His accent is not terrible.
Is he using a different dialect in this movie?
He
or
might be,
something?
but it was fine.
He was Charlie Hunnam rocks in this movie, man.
No, he's great.
He fucking commands this fucking movie.
He does, and it's also a really simple performance too.
No,
He's
it totally is.
He's not Nick Caging it up in any
No.
way. Like, you know, most of his acting in this movie is honestly just with his fucking eyes, and he kills it.
Yeah.
Like, I like every time he was on screen, it was just like, all right, well,
Dude, when it starts out, it's like he's playing like a David Lean version of like Val Kilmer from Ghost in the Darkness.
yes.
Like, this is, hey, look, if this is playing anywhere near you, which it probably is, which it mostly, I know it went pretty, I believe it went pretty wide this weekend, especially if it's playing here. God, this is easily going to be one of the best movies I've seen of the year. Like, it's, there's,
with the movies coming out this year, like, I can see there being movies that I might love more in the moment, but honestly, I can't imagine seeing another movie this year or in the next 5 to 10 years that's going to be better than
I
this
agree.
movie.
I completely fucking agree.
Like, that's, you know, like, this year, like, I got Guardians of the Galaxy next week, and then,
yeah.
you know, the new Spider-Man movie's coming out. And there's other shit this year that I'm super excited.
3 billboards, which looks awesome.
Yes! Like, there's movies I'm really excited about this year, but this movie hit me just out of nowhere, and I'm a little fucking in love with this movie.
Same here, man. This is a fucking movie. Like, there are movies, this is a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like, go out as soon as you can to see this movie.
Yeah.
It is
Like,
that fucking great.
Don't wait for a rental. Like,
No.
Like, if you gotta travel to see this in a theater, fucking travel. See it
Totally
in the
agree.
Take people with you.
Yeah, spread the word about this fucking movie, seriously.
Like, I'm seriously thinking, like, about bringing my dad to see this.
Oh yeah, your dad would love this movie.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Any other final thoughts about it?
Wow.
I'm blown away by
Yeah.
this movie, and that doesn't happen much.
No, I haven't been, like, there's been movies in the past couple of years I've earnestly
Totally.
loved.
I've seen.
I haven't seen anything like this in so long.
It has been
so long.
too long since I've seen a movie like this. Seriously. So
Like just the fucking balls on that guy to make this movie.
yeah. I've seen a couple of his others. We Own the Night. I liked that.
We Own the
movie.
Night was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is a different beast altogether.
Yeah.
Like, this is a different beast.
No,
all
it is.
fucking together.
So yeah, my final thought on it too. See this movie as soon as you fucking can.
Immediately. Immediately. And then go buy Jesus, bro.
Oh yeah, then watch our movie
Don't judge us harshly.
after seeing this.
Yeah.
See it.